wamesimama kwa boda. Watoto kwa hospitali. Hapa hakuna mtu anakuja kubeba silaha ya very peaceful. One time. So tunatembea tunarudi kwetu Kiambu kwa sababu license yetu ilikuwa ya hapa Kiambu na wamesimama kwa boda. Kazi. Mama yo.
Ndio watu wanakuja sasa. Yeah.
Ukiangalia nyuma utaona vijana wote wa Kiambu walikuwa wametokelezea lakini
chukua long shot, piga long shot.
Tumefungiwa lakini tunaonanga iko sawa. Kuonyesha watu wa nyuma watu wengi sana.
Yeki live. Nasema
Zoom in kama unaweza zoom in kama unaweza already. Wow.
Muite mfalme wa amani, yeye anajibu maombi. Muite mfalme wa amani, yo. Uwezo gani unaompinga? Uwezo gani? Anajua magumu yako baba yangu, anajua magumu mama. Ukiwa na shida usiende kwa waganga wa dunia, ukiwa na magumu usiende kwa wafungu wa dunia. Muite mfalme wa amani, muite mfalme wa amani. Hakuna kile kitu wanaokosa amani ndani ya kazi zao wape amani. Ni wewe Bwana wa amani ya Afrika, Amerika wanalia amani, tunawe mfano uwezo gani unaompinga Yesu. Wewe ni mwema, wewe ni mwema, wewe ni mwema. Wewe ni mwema, wewe ni mwema, wewe ni mwema. Kikuainia kitu uwezo gani, uwezo gani, wewe ni mwema.
Waenda ukuzimu ili kupata mafanikio, watumishi wengine nao wategemea nguvu za mapepo. Yoyoyo, si utaki msaada wa mapepo. Yesu wangu, nahitaji msaada wako, uniwezeshe Yesu.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja
kwako Yesu nainuliwa.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako.
Kwako Yesu nabarikiwa.
Kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako.
Utakawia, nitazidi kuvumilia, ninayo imani moyoni, siku moja utanikumbuka. Kwa nini nitende dhambi kubwa namna hii, nikukosee Mungu wangu, uniepushe Baba yangu.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako.
Kwako Baba nainuliwa.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako.
Kwako Yesu nainuliwa.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako.
Yesu wewe ni wa rehema.
Sitaki kwenda kwa mwingine, Yesu wangu, mimi ninakuja kwako. Ingelikuwa Mungu anauliza mwanadamu jinsi ya kumtendea, Jamani, wala sijaona jicho lenye pazia. Adui zangu wagalikuwa na wazo, wangefunga macho, wangefunika masikio, sinione nikiwa juu, wasisikie nimebarikiwa. Nasema ndio ya Bwana, hahitaji ndio, hahitaji ndio yako Yesu tu. Mimi nataka ndio yako Yesu, yako Yesu, ndio yako, ndio nisimamisha, fungulia milango. Jipe moyo, jipe moyo, jipe jipe moyo katika Bwana. Kusoma umesoma lakini jipe moyo. Jipe moyo Bwana Yesu. Dunia hii imejaa chuki, dunia hii imejaa chuki. Bwana Yesu, Bwana nguvu, jipe moyo, jipe moyo, jipe moyo, jipe moyo, Bwana Yesu.
Wakati wa kuanza ibada rasmi
Sisi so tumeumbwa kwa sote ni kazi ya mikono yako. Mfano wangu sisi so yako tumeumbwa kwa mfano wako, sisi sote ni kazi ya mfano wako.
Naomba tukiwa bado tungali tumesimama kwa anza, lakini tutaendelea hivyo hivyo. Kwa hivyo nitamkaribisha Bishop Kalu atuongoze kwa
basi. Kwa heshima ya Mwenyezi Mungu tusimame tafadhali. Tufunge macho. Mwenyezi Mungu Baba mtakatifu, mbingu na nchi zimejaa enzi ya utukufu wako. We ni Mungu uliye mtakatifu sana, na ni Mungu ambaye umechagua kushuka chini kwa njia ya mwanao Yesu Kristo ili kuweza kujidhihirisha, na ni kupitia kwa mwanao Yesu Kristo tumepata kujua wewe. Tunakushukuru Baba mtakatifu hata wakati huu. Tunajua Bwana ni mapenzi yako. Tunakuomba uwe Tabaso. Tunakuomba uonekane katikati yetu kuwa ambao tulimjua mzee huyu Gideon. Baba mtakatifu, tunahitaji faraja zako. Tunaliombea taifa letu la Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, baraza lote la mawaziri na wote uliowapa.
Tukiendelea na ibada, kwa sababu tayari tulikuwa tumeanzisha ibada, naomba sasa nimwalike Major Retired Daniel Mungaro ili aweze kusoma
order paper, because we skipped it in view of the urgency and importance of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 3. It's just wondering, Speaker, with your indulgence, because I'm sure there isn't many questions or requests. Just asking for your indulgence, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, now that I've read order number 14 out, allow us to just dispense with order number 14, then we'll rearrange the order paper to accommodate statements and questions. Thank you. Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House adopts the report of the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on its consideration of the consolidated fund services for the supplementary 3 for year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025. Honorable Speaker, the review of the consolidated fund. Honorable Speaker, the review of the consolidated fund service CFS under supplementary estimate number 3 for financial year 2024-2025 offers an encouraging signals for Kenya's evolving fiscal landscapes. Notably, CFS expenditures are projected to decline by Kenya shilling 295 1.28 billion from Kenya shilling 2.2 trillion to Kenya shilling 1.99 trillion. Honorable Speaker, public debt service continues to dominate CFS allocations, accounting for 88% of total expenditures. While this underscores the weight of debt-related obligations on the national budget, it also highlights a significant opportunity, the need to institutionalize structured and predictable liability management. By doing so, the government can unlock more sustainable fiscal space over the medium term, support development priorities, and protect essential public services. Honorable Speaker, major changes under the consolidated fund services include, under domestic debt redemption payments, a reduction by Kenya shilling 186.5 billion from Kenya shilling 569.9 billion to Kenya shilling 385.4 billion, primarily on account to reduction of Kenya shilling 184.2 billion in the provision made to cover any shortfall in the redemption of treasury bills from Kenya shilling 200 billion to Kenya shilling 15.89 billion. And the external debt services is projected to decline by Kenya shilling 110 billion from Kenya shilling 704.9 billion to Kenya shilling 594.9 billion. The changes is as a result of the following. Under the external debt redemption payments, a reduction of Kenya shilling 114.87 billion or 24% reduction to Kenya shilling 361.5 billion from Kenya shilling 474.4 billion attributed to liability management, targeting the Trade Development Bank syndicated loan, of which the amount due Kenya shilling 173.8 billion will decline to Kenya shilling 58.97 billion. Honorable Speaker, there are no changes instituted to the allocations for pensions, salaries, and allowances for constitutional and independent office holders and other miscellaneous expenditures. Cumulatively, these expenditures will remain at Kenya shilling 246.97 billion. Honorable Speaker, as such, the committee observes that the current gains from liability management operation, though welcome, should be anchored in a robust policy framework. The absence of a comprehensive national liability management policy has limited the strategic deployment of debt reorganization tools such as prepayments, swaps, and restructuring. Formalizing such a policy will allow the National Treasury to plan proactively, reduce refinancing risks, and better align fiscal outcomes with the country's long-term development agenda. In this regard, Honorable Speaker, the committee has recommended the following. National Treasury should, within 60 days of the adoption of this report, develop and publish a comprehensive national liability management policy, and the policy should articulate clear guidelines and measurable targets aimed at reducing the debt service burden and enhance fiscal space. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request Honorable Kasalu, MP, to second. Thank you.
Honorable Kasalu, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Yeah, I know that's pretty unusual. All members, I propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on its consideration of the consolidated fund services for the supplementary estimates 3 for the financial year 2024-2025, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025. I request those who want to contribute on this to press the intervention button. I can see the Honorable Ikiara Dorothy, you on this? The Honorable Adan. So let's have the Honorable James Mikal.
Chair, as I support this, and I'll be very, very brief. Actually, this is a very important motion. We really, for a long time, have not had this. And if you look at it very carefully, it's actually part of the budget, because we are actually going to indicate what debt we are paying, when we are paying them. And what this report has indicated, that in 60 days, we should have that published. So Speaker, mine is just to ask the committee that we really must get that, and that report should come in good time. This one, I think the report came yesterday. Many members have probably not seen it, but that other report, which will give us the detail, we would like it to come in good time. Members read it, because if you are not careful how debts are handled, then you will find that debts may be actually paid in a preferential manner. I know we had a committee dealing with this, and probably what we are going to get is from that committee. But let's have that report within 60 days given to the House in good time, so that we actually look at it and see how we handle our debts and the details therein. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The member for Funyula.
Speaker, sometimes it's difficult to manage to deal with this matter. Just a few days ago, Honorable Speaker, when we were actually doing the budget, similar recommendations were made that within 60 days, even when we were doing the first supplementary budget, the same story within 60 days. I don't know, Speaker, one day you'll have to guide us. When the 60 days start and end, it's because it's becoming a boring song. Honorable Speaker, regardless to say, again, the report is not very clear on exactly what is happening, and that's why you find even the person, the honorable member who was asked to second, had nothing useful to add other than this to say to second. But again, a fundamental issue, Honorable Speaker, the timing of these supplementary bills, whether it's under Article 223 or whichever Article 114, is indeed a very suspicious timing. I know it is important the accountants will tell you to clean up the books at the end of the financial year, but there are always restatements that can happen after the financial year. Just fundamentally, if, Honorable Speaker, you are appropriated 1 billion now, how do you absorb that 1 billion from now to Monday? How? I mean, there's something wrong somewhere, Honorable Speaker, which I really don't understand. If it was a recurrent expenditure, we can argue that there is, for example, under consolidated fund, there's a loan that we had forgotten to repay that is due on Friday. That somebody would understand. And then how a treasury can forget the maturity of a loan, again, that's very baffling. So again, about the recurrent expenditure for salaries for constitutional office holders, everybody would have imagined their salaries are fixed. Their allowances and remuneration are fixed. So again, the issue of supplementary and the CFS sounds, and probably I might not be an expert in that matter, and probably if you give Dr. Makalu Mulu a chance to speak on this, he can educate us, the uneducated. Otherwise, I really have nothing useful to say or add, only just be left in Wonderland. How can a CFS have a supplementary budget at the tail end? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Makali Mulu, Chair Finance, wait for a minute. Just here, Honorable Makali Mulu.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I can just explain some of which can happen to have a supplementary for the CFS expenditures. Honorable members, you know very well that most of our external debt is in foreign currency in terms of denomination. Majority of it is in dollars, then the other is in euros. So one of the reasons why you could be having a supplementary is basically if there's a change in terms of exchange rate, that can trigger more resources for repayment, because once the rate changes, once the rate changes, then automatically you'll have more than you budgeted for. The other situation is where in the process of tabulating the loans which are due, then you miss one, which will be due within the year. If it happens that it has to be paid, then automatically, then you need to factor in that amount. And actually for me, CFS is easiest to have a supplementary because once you pass the amount of paying, the earlier issues we were discussing, some of them will need procurement and you might have no time. So there's a way you can have that. But Honorable Chair, what I wanted to see in terms of this report, and I think the challenge we're having with the CFS expenditures is the issue of the budget deficit. You know, any financial year, we do fix the budget deficit every financial year. For example, we have now agreed is 4.5% of the GDP this financial year, 2025, 2026, Honorable Speaker. But you realize even when the minister came to read the summary of the budget here, 4.5% of our total budget was coming to 876 billion. When Honorable Mbandi, the CS minister, was giving the amount he's going to borrow, he said 920, and difference of 47 billion. So the report you approved here, which was from this committee, Public Debt and Privatization, was coming to 876. Now, the report read by the minister was 920 billion. So the question is, at the end of the day then, when you have a moving budget deficit, it becomes very difficult to have a budget which can be predicted. So we have a budget which is always a moving target. And I think this is something as a house we need to be firm on. So that once we agree, Honorable Speaker, that this is the amount going to be borrowed by the government this financial year, we don't have these figures changing midway, and then we keep on getting what we are getting today, that things are changing. But all said and done, Honorable Members, CFS expenditures are the highest expenditure item in our budget. Because now we are about almost 2 trillion. And if you look at that, it leaves minimal fiscal space for any other activity. So I think as a house, generally, we need to start thinking hard about what do we do with these CFS expenditures. And out of the CFS expenditure, the highest expenditure item is payment debt, public debt, in terms of interest repayment and the normal payment of the principal. So this is a matter we must take seriously so that we start helping the country move towards sorting out this matter. On the issue of timing, and I think that's the issue which was Honorable Oundo was raising. I think, Honorable Speaker, I've been listening since morning, and I listened to you, Honorable Speaker, when you made a contribution on the earlier motion. And one of the things we need to do as a House, Honorable Speaker, we should have no apologies to say that Treasury, they are not doing their work well. Because the reason we have this pressure, Honorable Speaker, is because Treasury is bringing these budgets too late in the day that they don't allow enough time for the House to process the budget. And I think as a House, this is a window we need to close and tell them that if you don't bring your supplementary budget a month to the end of the financial year, forget about it. In that case, then we'll be helping ourselves in terms of looking at the budget to details and seeing what is going to be paid. Item 223 has been controversial. Honorable Speaker, we joined this House together with you the same day. And we have been in the budget committee with you for the longest time possible. Always we discuss article 223 with you. And you know the loopholes in that article in terms of the way Treasury has been using. How I wish, Honorable Speaker, that we created more time to look at some of these proposed expenditures under 223. Because these are some of the easier ways being used by some of the technocrats to misapply public resources. And I really think as a House, this matter, we must discuss it and take a firm position. I remember at one point, Honorable Mbandi, when it was where we are seated, he was saying the same story as I'm saying, that we need to really raid Treasury on this Article 223 so that we get it properly